Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Jada Toys Street Fighter Blanka, and I finally found this big green beauty at Target. And no, I know this is the second big giant green monster that I've gotten within a week. But we're going to be taking a look at this one. We'll compare him to the height of Maximum Hulk, who I know has made a lot of people mad. Now, I did take a look at this, or I did find this at Target. When I asked about it, when I asked about the DCPI, they did say that it is discontinued. And what that means, it's no longer being sold at Target, but they just have some of these in certain stores around there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're discontinuing these at Target. Maybe they're no longer the exclusives. But we're going to take a look at this guy. We're going to get into everything that he has. So right there, you can see him, his extra head, his hands, and his effect right there. He is on a much bigger box, or he's in a much bigger box. This one is completely beaten up, so I probably won't be saving it. You can see his the game controllers. On the back, right there, you can see the stance that they put them in, and then we have the cross-sell of all the figures that they're getting, and even some that might be coming very shortly. So anyway, I am interested to get this out, see exactly how big he is, see how he compares to some of these other figures that I kind of have sitting up here. We have Maximum Hulk, we have a Viper, we have Ken, we have Age of Apocalypse, Colossus. Those are some bigger, beefier boys, but we'll kind of take a look at them, see how they compare to the size. But let's get into this. But before we do, please take a second. If you like what I've been giving you, when you like this Jada stuff, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop something like this. And at the end, I might even drop a couple of misses that I made trying to do this. They call them bloopers, blooper reels. That's it. All right, we got him out of his box, and as I like to do, I always like to look at the accessories first. So first off, we'll take a look at his effects. Now, these are not blast effects. These are two different lightning effects that when he's starting to charge up, if I remember correctly. Very pliable, so we can move them around. They can be used for a lot of different things. They both are just kind of stand up just like that, and they are different. So it is nice that they're giving us two different versions of them. So here we can kind of see the translucent yellow, and then it's going up into just clear white. It's just kind of getting ready for him to explode. And then same with this one. This one seems to be a little bit lower for the most part. So this one kind of goes up just a little bit higher. Not that it matters. And you just get to surround them. But again, you can use it with all kinds of things like this Maximum Hulk right there. Maybe with Colossus. Throw it around a Retro Viper right there. He has two sets of hands. So here's the other two hands, and these are more grabbing hands. And when we look at him, he has some white fingernails that look pretty good. I don't see any veins or anything. We see a lot of that. Although you can kind of see the way the detail is going into the knuckles here. And he does have some nice pointy fingernails. So you might want to get these trimmed a little bit. Maybe go get a manicure. Just get that taken care of. But now looking at the white, it looks like it has the same white issue that Maximum Hulk's teeth do. I don't know. Maybe they're having an issue putting real thick white on stuff these days. I'm not sure. So here we have his angry head. He's got the big hair. Now, anytime that you have a figure, a head sculpt like this, that has a lot of hair, it usually messes with the articulation. You can't move it. But Jada uses this very, very pliable soft rubber / plastic, which is awesome. So I should probably have very little issues moving his head around because of this. I may have issues because of the ball joint, but we'll look at that when we get to it. So looking here, he's kind of looking up at you. Not side eye, but up eye, and I think that's how he's supposed to be because a lot of times he's crouched down. Looking at the vampire style teeth, and I feel like They're not as bad as the Hulks. Again, we have some issues with the Hulks, but kind of the same issue. They just kind of seem like they're overlaid so much with the paint. But look in there, you can kind of see where his tongue is at. You can see the eyes. The paint looks good. He's molded in this green. Nice ears. And then again, you look at the hair, and it's just flowing back, just like in the video game. And he has this kind of Sonic the Hedgehog look. But I love the fact that there's different strands right here. It's just going to give it way more of a feel when we're kind of playing around with the figure. As for the Blanka, well, here he is. And he's a big boy, but he's not huge. I'm interested to get Sagat out because I know Sagat's going to be much, much bigger. So, looking at this guy, here he has the gritting teeth. All right. And like I said, the white, I don't know what it is about the white. You know, we just saw it with the Hulk here. It doesn't look bad. We can see his gums that are sticking, you know, kind of protruding out. He's kind of doing this smirk. Eyes are looking straight, but also can make it look like you're looking up. Get the big brow up top here. Nice nose sticking out there, and then you have the ears. And again, probably the exact same hair. And we're going to see exactly what we can do. But it does move, which I think is nice. He's got the traps here kind of rolling down, and then we can see the hair. On the bottom of his chest, you can see where his nipples are supposed to be. And it goes right down into his belly, which he has a nice little six-pack here. Even has a little striations up on his rib cage. Arms, same thing. You can see the bicep, and then he has a little bit of hair on his forearms, which is on both sides. Here we have his fists. Here is some ripped jeans, kind of like our Maximum Hulk over here. Tony's Figs, you may have wanted to use this for Leonidas for his cutoff shorts. But you can see it's all cut off right around here. Same with on the pant leg here. So it is all frayed. It's frayed up there. You can see the little detail on it and a little bit of wrinkles. You're getting down right to his calf where he's got some really, I'm sorry, these are your shins. Some real dark hair. I've always been lucky to not have very hairy legs, so. And then he has what used to have chains on it. Now this would actually be pretty cool. You could probably lock in some of the Mythic Legions, or the, not so much Mythic Legions, but the Figure Obscuras. They probably have some chains that we can kind of plug into there. His toes are the exact same, where it has the white right there, and you can see each toe kind of protruding through there. And you can see only paint right there on the fist. All right, so there's not really too much to this guy, but how well does he articulate? That is what people really want to know. So looking at the hair, all right, as I mentioned, it can get in the way, but he can look up pretty damn well, and he can look down. So his neck is not only on the neck joint, but it's also on a ball joint, so he can look side to side. He can tilt his head. All right. As for his T-pose, he gets a hell of a T-pose, just like that. He swivels at the bicep and the shoulder. Double pinless elbows. And that's a pretty good, that is a really good elbow bend for someone that has such a big, chunky arm. All right. So same thing over here. There we go. Wrist swivel. He has the diaphragm cut, so he can kind of come around. Now once you break it like this, this is where the hair kind of gets all messed up. He can look down that far, and he can go back that far. So no problem getting any type of movement like that. And you go side to side also, and they can obviously turn like this. And you see this real soft piece right here. So looking at the crotch right here, it's soft. Same concept as this, all right? So all the people that are worried about this breaking down, it's the same thing here. Are you worried about that breaking down? Same with this hair? You're probably not. All right. As for Jean-Claude, it is awesome. He swivels right at the knee. All right, right above the knee. Double pinless knees. Ooh. Do I have I think I got I don't know if it's a tight joint or Yep. So there's his knees, no problem. Again, I have not heated this figure up at all. Goes just like this. He's got his ankle rockers, so he can move. He can move like that. No problem at all. Although these seem kind of, I wonder if these are weak. They kind of feel loose, and it's not that warm just yet. So one thing I didn't talk about was his butterflies, all right? So let's get the biceps straight. I don't really want to upset anyone with biceps not being straight. So the bicep is straight. Unfortunately, he can only cross over so far. All right, so he has big butterfly joints, but he can't even touch his hands. So no thunderclap for this guy. I hope I don't get yelled at. I hope the bicep was straight. I know that bothered a lot of people. All right. As for getting this guy to stand and pose, oh, he stands perfectly fine. Get him in this running pose. Can you get on 1 foot? 1 foot, no problem. Jada Street Fighter. Again, these guys are known. I got Cammy that's been sitting up in a side kick position for a month now. All right, so that's no problem. He can kick straight. Now he does not have articulated toes. I don't know if I can get him into a front kick. I have to do a little bit of a bend here. Even a front kick. I mean, this guy is on 1 foot fairly easily. And he is a chunky boy. All right. So, let's pop the head off. How easy does it come off? That is extremely easy. And look how small that peg is. So, with a smaller peg, it does allow it to have better movement. The whole, you know, like all the hair is real soft. They create a lot of space in here, which allows the neck to move an absolute lot. So I think the angry one is probably the best one for him. We gotta pop off these hands, right? Now he definitely does need punching hands, especially when he might be punching a few street fighters or maybe some other guys that you kind of see staggering around here. All right. As for his bend, I know these knees move pretty good. All right. And how much we can get this here. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, I like to show you guys what you can do right away, how hard it's going to be to move this figure. You know, again, it's just something that's in my channel, something that I do that people have come to love. So if you're new to the channel, please take a second, hit that subscribe button. All right, here he's kind of angry. I'm going to take these two things, and he's just kind of creating energy before he goes into his ball of rage. All right, can we get him into a ball? I think you can get him into a fairly good ball, but I don't know what you're going to do. I'm not chucking mine, but there are people that do some wonderful, wonderful pictures. All right. We can tuck that head in. And for the most part, you can get him into a nice little ball. I mean, he does tighten up really well. They have some awesome, awesome articulation. We've talked about this before with the Jada, but sometimes bigger figures, you know, you don't get great articulation. I think they do a really good job here. So you can see exactly how far over he is, how far up his knees go, see how much his knees bend, but also see how much his thighs go up. So pretty good for the most part. All right, as for his height, how does he compare to some of these other figures that you might have him fighting? Well, it's easy to do a comparison when I have some figures standing right here. All right, so we can stand him up here. See if I can move this back just a bit there. I think that should be good. So we'll match him up against your Ken. You can see that he is much bigger than Ken, and sometimes Ken just falls over. And sometimes other figures go over too when you're reaching. There he is against M. Bison. And here he is against C. Bison, Chester Cheetah, right there, right? Chester Bison. You can see the difference. Throw this over here. Here we have a Retro Cobra Viper. All right. Man, these guys are going over today, aren't they? You can see the size difference. He's not huge. I mean, in all honesty, when I put him up against Bison, he's not way bigger, but he is bigger. Here we have him against Age of Apocalypse. Colossus, seriously, one of the... This is such a great figure. All right. Much taller than him. He really towers over him. And then if we want to, we can kind of grab our Apocalypse, who is roughly the same size. He's actually a little bit shorter, I think, than Colossus. But then we have our other big green rage monster, and that is Maximum Hulk. And this guy is big, he's beefy, and he will probably crush Blanka without really trying. But there you go. That is some size differences. You know what? Let me grab a Chun-Li. Probably should have shown you all of them. Here you can see her right in front of him, so he can look straight over her as she's yelling, probably pissed off that Hulk is about to smash his face in. All right, so there you go. That is your Blanka review. There's really not too much to show. I do like using this for... This is going to be fun. Like, all of this stuff. These Jada Street Fighter figures are absolutely awesome. But you can really see the difference. Okay, so this thing is $32 at Target, I believe. You know, $60 figure right here. You can see the size difference right there. You can see the amount of plastic that is used in this compared to that. So great price point right here. No doubt about it. All right, so there you go. That is your Jada Street Fighter Blanka. I like how big he is. Very easy to get onto 1 foot. I don't think you have any problem getting poses out of this guy. I don't think he's going to be any different than the other Jada Street Fighter figures that we've gotten. If you haven't picked up any of the Jada Street Fighter, I'm telling you, you're missing out. Jada has knocked it out of the park with their action figures. He doesn't have a lot. 2 little like electrifying blasts, an extra set of hands, and a head sculpt. I don't know how much more you need. Again, he's a little bit bigger, so he is a higher price point. Of what was $32 or $30, but I think they raised him up to $32. BBTS, he is $35 right now. So if you're able to get him for $30, awesome. $32, again, you know what? There's going to be raises and stuff like that. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Again, a good chunk of plastic and a lot of fun. And again, if you have the other Street Fighters, I think you're going to really enjoy messing around with this guy. So anyway, it's time for me to get out of here. I've spent a lot of time reviewing figures, and as you can see, I got Sagat sitting right there. Actually, you can see my arm here to to do reviews, which actually does make things a lot easier. No more kicking the tripod. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Check them out if you're interested. Look at Target. That's where you're going to find them right now. And like I said, she did tell me that he is discontinued, or these are discontinued. Doesn't mean they're discontinued figures, just that they're no longer carrying them. But they'll probably get some more in, but just be careful anyway. I'm going to get out of here. Please take a second. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a Jada Street Fighter. Now, I'm going to get out of here, but what you're going to see in a second is maybe some bloopers. I know I couldn't think of the word at the beginning. And then right after that, you're going to see in the corner another Jada Street Fighter, and down there will be a playlist of all the Street Fighter figures or all the Jada stuff that I've done. Take care. Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Jada Street Fighter. I wanted to say Maximum Blanka, but it's not. The Jada Street Fighter. Let's start this over. Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at... Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Jada Street Fighter. Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Jada Street Fighter